problem with the smoke is, come to me just a little bit, is it has a hard time capturing focus. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So for the longest time I've wanted to do a shoot like this, like basically getting rim lights on either side, or like, I don't even know how to describe it, but rim lights, basically. Rim lights and everything else is black. So almost like a silhouette, but all you see is the rim light, really. And so, you know, I didn't really know how to do it. I actually went online and just kind of tried to search. I don't honestly even remember what I searched for, but I did find one video from Adorama, and I'll try to link it in here if I can, kind of displaying or showing how to actually create this look that I was wanting to go for. So here we are, me and Setlali, and we did this shoot. In the shoot, I was actually reviewing this handheld smoke device by COLBOR, and also the light that I'm actually using in this. It's an LED RGB light, and it's fantastic. It's like 220 watts or 250 watt power, but I do have a video, and again, I'll link that up here. So be sure to check that out if you haven't watched it already. It's a great light. But in this video, it's a great light, and I really did enjoy using it, and I will definitely use it again. But it does have some limitations, and that's not necessarily what I'm going to talk about in this video. But what I wanted to talk about in the video was some of the things that I liked, some of the things that I think I did wrong, and some things that probably with those wrong that I would want to change and do again. The first thing that I would really do again is probably use a strobe as opposed to using an LED. Or if I'm going to use an LED, I need to use a much stronger LED. You know, at 220 watts, I didn't feel like I could put my aperture where I needed it to be, and so I was shooting it at 1.2, and I think that's probably one of the other first mistakes that I made, was shooting it at 1.2. I noticed a lot looking through my photos that I had a lot that were soft, and you know, a lot of that is because I had all the lights out in the garage and she was completely backlit, and so the focus was very, very difficult. And so there's a lot that, you know, the focus is just slightly off or off altogether, and shooting it at 1.2 that probably was an issue. Having the smoke in the shot definitely made it difficult. It was very hard to even get focus through the smoke. What I would probably do different next time would be to put smoke behind her as opposed to in front of her, or, and I mentioned this in the review video, take her out of the photo completely, shoot some smoke, get a couple of shots with just the smoke, and then I can composite them later. So, you know, shooting it with a 1.2 aperture, I probably should have at least been at 2.8. My ISO was high because it was really dark in there, but I don't feel like that had any issues. But having a 250 watt LED, it was just limiting what I wanted to do with my camera settings. I would much rather have been at 2.8 to give me a little bit more depth of field, because that depth of field with that 50, and I was probably only 8 feet back, is so small. I just wasn't giving myself any space. I wanted to show the video anyway because I did get some good shots in here and I really did enjoy the shoot, but I definitely learned. And that's the important thing with this video, is get out there and try new things. Go do something that you haven't done. This was the first time I'd ever done anything like this. I didn't know what I was doing. What I actually have is black foam core taped to my umbrella, and I think it's a 42-inch umbrella, and I've got it taped right behind her. One thing that I could probably change is I could probably cut down a little bit more of that black, just letting a little bit more light spill out on either side. Maybe I would let some light spill out over top so that I could light her hair just a little bit more. I think that would have been really cool to see the rim light all across the top of her hair, as opposed to what you'll see in some of the photos, just some of the front and some of the back. So just losing a little bit of the detail in there. If I actually had that foam core drop down a little bit more, I would get more light spill over the top. Let me see the nose again. You know, it's all kind of a test here. You know, I was testing how far away from her, what that would do. The further away, the darker her skin would be, the closer there would be more light spilling over her body. You know, and a lot of these, they're going to be edits. A lot of these, you know, I could go in and edit out what I wouldn't want to edit out. I could darken it a little bit more than what I wanted. And again, for the most part, I was able to actually create what I had set out to create. But now I know more than I did before I did it. And if you don't ever try anything new, if you don't ever go out on a limb and try to learn new things, you don't have that knowledge. And for me, when it comes to my photography and the way I want to shoot, man, and it's the way that the whole world is, knowledge is power. So try new things, even if you fail, but I guarantee you, you'll learn new things. I'm super happy that I did this shoot. Very grateful again that COLBOR actually sent out the light, sent out the smoke. That was awesome. If I was to shoot this again, I would use a much higher powered LED, or I would use my strobe. The strobe is just going to be a lot more powerful. I would definitely change my aperture again. I wouldn't shoot it at 1.2. I would shoot it at 2.8, a minimum of 2.8. It just gives me a little bit more of that depth of field, so where I can get more of her skin and skin texture in focus, as opposed to the tiny little slivers of light that I got. I would drop down the top of the foam core, giving myself a little bit more light peeking through the top. You know, again, if she was a little bit taller, maybe I don't have to do that, but knowing how tall she is sitting on the chair, if I drop down the foam core at the top, more light spill is going to come over the top. For the smoke shots, I would have put the smoke behind instead of the smoke in front, or I would do composite shots, and more than likely I would do composite shots. However, I know that I would want to try it with smoke behind as opposed to in the front. But then again, you kind of want to see her in the smoke. So that's where I think a composite will do better than actually having smoke behind her. So I know this is probably short, maybe not as much information as you wanted, but I wanted to show you a video of something that I was completely trying, my failures, my successes. The images that I showed are successes. There was plenty of other photos that were failures, just out of focus, you know, that type of stuff. So the focus just was a little bit too soft. But for the most part, I definitely learned. I would definitely do it again, and I cannot wait to try it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the little bell to be notified for every time I post. Follow me on Instagram at j.allen_photographer. And until next time, keep shooting.